Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Science with Dani, where I help students and parents in their learning for primary school science. Okay, so if this is the first time that you are with us here, all right, and you want to improve in your science learning, why don't you click on the subscribe button as well as don't forget the notification bell so that you will not miss any of our future videos. All right, good. So if you're wondering who I am, my name is Dani. Okay, I'm Dani Dawood. I am the teacher and content creator here at Science with Dani. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help parents and students in trying to make primary school science simple. Okay, so that this will be able to help you in your journey towards that primary school science examination that everybody is dreading about, PSLE. All right, so today we have got a question from the topic photosynthesis that is from the theme energy of upper block. Right, so let's not waste any time. Let us straight away dive into this question here. Okay? Right. Today, in our question deep dive, we are going to take a look at this question that deals with the concept of photosynthesis. All right, so let's start. The question reads, Isaac carried out the experiment shown below in a dark room. Okay, so let's take a look. What is important here? Here, what is important is in a dark room, because that simply means, all right, there is no light. Okay, no light source. All right, and then he measured the amount of gas collected in the test tube. All right, measured amount of gas collected in the test tube after shining different colored light at plant P. Oh, okay. Shining different colored light at plant P. All right, let's take a look at this information here. First, he measured the amount of gas collected in the test tube. We know that when it comes to plant, all right, there are two ways that the plant will produce gases. One is through photosynthesis and the other one is through respiration. All right. So let's look at the second part. Shining different colored light. Oh, okay. So that means there is light being given, but it's different colored light. Okay. So if light has been given, that means we know this amount of gas collected is from the process of photosynthesis. And this gas here would be oxygen. Okay, all right, so at plant P for 3 hours. All right, let's take a look at the diagram here. Right, at the start of the experiment, you can see that you have got a light source here, okay, and then this inverted funnel, all right, and then we've got plant P, the beaker of water, and then the test tube, all right. And after 3 hours, this is what happened. We have got this gas that has been collected. Okay, and as how we have already mentioned in the first part of the information is that this gas that's been collected would be oxygen. All right, and the reason because there is a light source, which means photosynthesis will take place. Okay, all right, now let's see what else do I need to take note in this diagram here. I think that's about all. Let's move on. So he repeated the experiment with blue light and then green light. So repeated the experiment with blue light and then green light. Okay, so now I know that this blue light and the green light would be my changed variable. All right. Now the thing is that in the primary school syllabus, you don't really learn about the different colored lights, how they affect photosynthesis. Okay, but you do learn about the amount of light that will affect photosynthesis. So if there's a question like that that comes out, they would give you a table with the result. So this would require you to analyze the result and then infer, all right? Infer from the result to attain your answer. All right, the concept here is still the same. It is about how light affect photosynthesis. Okay, all right, so let's take a look at the table. First, I've got white light, all right, and for white light, the amount of gas collected would be 3 cubic centimeters, all right, and then for blue light, the amount of gas collected is 7 cubic centimeters, and then for green light is 2 cubic centimeters. So from this result here, I know that 7 is the highest. So that means blue light is the best colored light for photosynthesis. Whereas the worst would be green. This would be the worst colored light for photosynthesis. Okay? All right. So once that's done, let's answer the question. First one. Name the gas collected in the test tube. Okay, since we have already deciphered that in the question as well as in the diagram, we realize that, oh, okay, this gas, because there's photosynthesis, that means this gas would be oxygen. All right, so that's one question done. Okay, let's move on to the second part of the question. The second part of the question says that Isaac has an aquarium. So he has an aquarium containing some plant pea and some fishes. There is no air pump in the aquarium. No air pump in his aquarium. All right. So that means Isaac is just depending on the dissolved oxygen that is in the water, all right, to support the fishes. Now, which color light, white, blue, or green, should he use to shine on his aquarium to allow his fish, all right, to allow his fish to survive the longest period of time? So this is the first part to this question here. And then the second part, it says, explain your answer. This is the second part, all right? So if we go back to the table, if I go back to the table, I know what's the best colored light, which is blue, all right? Since blue is the best colored light and it produces the highest amount of oxygen, which is 7 cubic centimeters, then I would use blue. I would not use white. I would not use green. Okay? So because blue, all right, would affect the rate of photosynthesis to be faster. And in this case, it will produce the highest amount of oxygen among the 3 lights. All right? So that is what I know from the table. So now let's write this down. So the first part, which color light? This part of the question is asking you to make a choice. So you have to choose. So now I'm going to choose. All right, I'm going to choose blue light. Okay, so I'll write there, blue light. Done. All right, so I've answered the choice. Now, since I need to explain, all right, the first thing that you have to write after your choice would be your evidence. What is this evidence that you see that make you choose blue light? The evidence that I see here is that the amount of gas, all right, collected in 3 hours for the plant, all right, under the blue light was the highest compared, all right, to the plants under under, all right, white and green light. All right, so in this part of the answer, you are giving the evidence as to why you chose blue light, as well as in that same statement, you have made a comparison with the other 2 lights. All right, sort of like saying why I did not choose the other 2. Okay, and then now you are supposed to write your reasoning. Why is this evidence the reason that you choose blue light. Okay, so what we know is that this is the part where you write in your concept. All right, so thus, comma, blue light allowed plant P, all right, the plant P to have the highest rate of photosynthesis. All right, and so what if it's the highest rate of photosynthesis? In this question, what is important is in the production of oxygen and produce the greatest amount of oxygen for the fish to respire. Okay, all right, so now you will notice that I have gotten my answer fully written out. This is a complete answer. You will not lose any partial mark. All right, so if we look at the format of the answer, firstly, we made a choice. All right, and to support the reason why we chose our choice, we have to write down the evidence. All right, the evidence that tells me, oh, okay, I am choosing blue light because of this. And why? What is the reason this blue light, all right, is giving you that evidence or that result? Then you write in the concept. Okay, all right. So this question here, if I'm going to take a look at it, okay, you will notice that this question in fact asks you to infer from two different concepts that you have learned. All right, so one of them is oxygen is produced during photosynthesis. All right, it is one of the byproduct. Okay, and then light is needed for photosynthesis. Although this question went a step further, all right, to give you different colored lights. Okay, but you know that light is needed for photosynthesis. Okay, all right. So I hope that that has been very useful for you, and as well as thank you for sticking with me to the end of this video. All right, now don't forget, okay, to click on the subscribe button so that you do not miss any of our future video, as well as you can click on the video below, all right, so that you can continue to learn and improve in terms of your science answering skill. Okay, so this was another question deep dive. All right, I would love to see you in my next video, as well as please don't forget to give this a thumbs up and share it to your friends. Okay, so this is Science with Dani. I am Dani saying goodbye. Bye bye.